Hey Aquarius, thanks for checking out your weekly forecast. This is for June 13th through the 19th, or at least we're setting the intention for the 13th through the 19th. However, you might stumble upon this a few weeks from now, a few years from now. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to hear the messages that are in it. Keep in mind that this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Sometimes your moon sign or your rising sign might resonate a little bit more, or you may need a private reading. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, we're going to connect here and see what messages are coming up here for the Aquarius collective. I feel like we need one more shuffle here. And we have the first card coming right out the gate here for Aquarius is the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords can indicate a time of temporary separation. So if you're feeling some frustration, and if I'm going to be honest with you, Aquarius, this is the main vibe I'm feeling from this card for the Aquarius collective. I feel like a lot of you are not where you want to be right now. This could be because there's a certain person you're wanting to be with. Maybe some of you are in a long distance relationship, or life threw a curveball and you've found yourself in different spots. Or it could just be in a sense of like relocation or moving. Like maybe there's like a place where you've been wanting to be and you thought that it would have happened by now, or something happened, it got delayed, there was some kind of a setback. With this Four of Swords, I'm feeling a sense of longing to be in a certain space. So Four of Swords sometimes comes up and gives us like just a reassurance that this separation is a temporary separation, and that before you know it, there's a uniting or a coming together. Now, with this Four of Swords energy, Four of Swords sometimes comes up in my readings when the person I'm reading for, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically, you've been through the ringer, okay? And you may have a lot of things that you're feeling. Sorry about that. I had to pause for a second. So emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, sometimes even physically, you've been through the ringer. And so sometimes Four of Swords comes up for me because now that this difficult time is over, you're really focused on rebuilding, creating. You have your sights set on what you want to accomplish, where you want to be, and all that is great. All of that is wonderful. But the Four of Swords says, look, darling, you've been through a lot. You need to take a little breather here. Before you can get busy getting everything done, you need to rest. You need to decompress. You need to process the experiences that you've had. You may be rushing past it too quickly. So when this kind of energy is in your life, sometimes people think that they're blocked. They're like, why isn't the universe blessing me? Why isn't the universe helping me manifest what I'm trying to manifest? And the Four of Swords says, look, it's coming, but this is the quiet before the storm, the good storm, the busy storm, right? The busy season. This is the lull before the busy season, and you're being given this time as a gift to release your experiences, to pray, to meditate, to strengthen your spiritual relationship with God, universe, higher self, and to decompress. I just feel like a lot of you need to decompress right now. The next card that's coming up for you all, my dears, is the Six of Cups. What did I say? I said some of you are experiencing some kind of a separation. It doesn't have to be with a person. It could be with a place or something about your life that you're feeling like you want to hurry up and you want to get back to that old self, or you want to get back to how things were, or back to something you've had to step away from. And I said this is a temporary lull, a temporary separation, and Six of Cups confirms that, because Six of Cups is a card of coming back together again. Some people get very scared when they see this card because they think it means that there's somebody bad from the past coming back. Sometimes that can happen, but you have to keep in mind that the cards have many layers, and it's not always going to be the worst case scenario. This could be hearing from a childhood friend. This could be hearing from a relative you haven't talked to in a while. It could be going back home, revisiting a place that you have a connection to from your childhood. It could be returning to a situation you've had to leave behind. There's a lot of different ways that this card can apply as far as reconciling something from the past or something from the past returning. Those of you who are in this Four of Swords energy, where you're decompressing, you're processing, you're healing, the Six of Cups tells us that you might be really nostalgic this week. You might have a lot of memories coming up from the past. And Spirit is saying use this as an inspiration to connect with the younger self, to connect with the inner child, and to remember the dreams you had, the goals you had, and resurrect those things and work on those things. But be careful and be cautious that you don't fall into the energy of mentally getting stuck in the past, or telling yourself that you took a wrong turn, or things used to be so much better. We have a tendency to remember things better than they actually were. And sometimes the Six of Cups comes up to say, look, don't worry. Everything has happened as it was meant to happen, and everything is happening as it's meant to happen. And, there are good things ahead. And you made all of the choices and the decisions you made because you did the best you could at that time with the tools that you had and with the choices that were available to you. I feel like some of you are going to be tempted to fall into the mindset of regret. Why did I leave that place if I'm just going back there? Or why did I, leave that relationship or that situation? It wasn't so bad. And Spirit is saying, look, everything is happening as it's meant to happen. So don't beat yourself up. This is a part of the journey. And don't convince yourself that things used to be so perfect. Because like I said, we have a tendency to remember things better than they actually were a lot of the time. So the Six of Cups says enjoy the nostalgia, play in the past, but don't allow yourself to mentally get stuck there. Come back to the present moment. The next card that's coming up here for you all, and I don't read reversals, I don't shuffle for reversals, I just set the card down the wrong way, is the Queen of Wands. If you have a fire sign placement, this could be an aspect of yourself, or you may be focusing on those houses or those areas of your life. Some of you could be dealing with a fire sign person. Now, if you are dealing with a fire sign person, this is just for me in the way that I read. The difference for me between the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands, both are cards of action. The King and the Queen of Wands are both cards of action, ingenuity, creative solutions, dynamic, charismatic. Both have entrepreneur elements to them for me, and creating opportunities, life of the party kind of energy. So these might be characteristics that you may be stepping into, or you may be dealing with someone who kind of has this kind of energy. Now, the Queen of Wands, the difference for me with the Queen of Wands or King of Wands, one of the differences anyway, is for me in my readings, the Queen of Wands comes up a lot of the time where there's an element of anger coming to the surface. And the anger is coming to the surface as a tool for you to use to create new things in your life. There's this righteous indignation. There's this healthy sense of entitlement. When I see the Queen of Wands, you're beginning to realize all that you bring to the table and how much other people benefit from having you around, but you're getting peanuts in comparison. And the Queen of Wands is done with that. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be energetically. It can be in terms of support or just somebody being there. You're the rock to everybody else and they're not the rock to you, or whatever it might be. There's just this dynamic here where you're like, this is not a fair exchange because I'm giving so much and I'm getting so little. And oftentimes when you're in that energy and you speak up, you deal with people who are very quick to stroke your ego and say, oh, Aquarius, I really wish I could do more for you. Oh, I can't, my hands are tied. Oh, poor me, woe is me, things are so bad for me, I'm struggling. Oh my gosh, don't you ever leave me. I don't know what I would do if you weren't around. I'd fall apart without you. And sometimes employers can do this to us, friends and family can do this to us. But Queen of Wands has had enough. She's like, okay, too bad, so sad. I can't do this anymore. She knows what she's worth, and she's not going to settle for less. She's not going to give anybody discounts. So because she's so angry and so aware of her worth, she reaches for more, she reaches for higher, and she receives it very quickly. She gets it very quickly. And so, Aquarius, a lot of you are in this energy where things are going to turn around for you, but right now you need this time to process what you've been through and let yourself connect with your anger. Let yourself connect with your anger and don't see it as negative, right? People talk about negative emotions. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. Emotions guide us. They're like little engine lights in your car, or little dashboard lights that tell you what needs attention, what needs to be addressed, right? This is how we're guided, by listening to our feelings and listening to our emotion. If somebody is making you feel uncomfortable, that's telling you, oh, not a good situation. This person might not have my best interest at heart. If something is making you feel sad, it's telling you this is harmful to me. This is not in alignment with me. This is not, in my best interest. I should disconnect from this. If something is making you angry, you're realizing this needs to be changed. This is unacceptable, and there's a boundary here that needs to be put into place. Okay? So there's no such thing as negative emotions. It's how we deal with the emotions that makes it negative or not. And anger is a powerful tool like fire. You can use it to disinfect items. You can use it to keep warm. You could use it to forge tools and refine precious metals, or you could use it to burn down a bunch of stuff, right? You can use it for destruction, or you could use it for creation. And Queen of Wands is using that anger for creation. Aquarius, you guys are coming into a powerful time of creating right now. You just need some time to process what you've been through. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Six of Swords. Look at this. Whatever this temporary separation is, it is super temporary. You're at the tail end of it because you have Six of Swords coming up in the same reading. And Six of Swords is the movement, right? Four of Swords, there's no movement. Six of Swords, there's movement. We could even assume that there may be a Five of Swords here in between these, which is a burning of bridges. But the Six of Swords is like, you're done with the drama. You're not dealing with it. You're not dealing with drama. You're not dealing with chaos. You just want peace. And you're putting your inner peace as a priority, and you're moving on to calmer waters, smoother sailing, right? No drama. The whale has a very significant meaning for me in my readings and in my meditations, because for me in my readings and meditations, whales come up when we're in a very, very deep emotional healing and clearing, where we're healing things on an ancestral level. So Aquarius, you're releasing things on an ancestral level. Some of you are breaking an ancestral cycle. Maybe there's a genetic cycle of traumas or addictions or destructiveness, and you're clearing that, and you're healing yourself, and you're healing the spirits and the souls of your ancestors in the process. You're breaking that chain, you're breaking that cycle. Now, the Six of Swords for me in general in readings, without the whales, is like a sense of getting away. So there could be things that are being set in motion this week where now you know how this lull is coming to an end, when this lull is coming to an end, and when the movement is happening. So some of you may be scheduling or planning a trip, travel arrangements, a move. Some of you could be visiting a place. And the Six of Swords for me, I've said this in previous readings, sometimes it comes up because you're going somewhere because you think you're just visiting, but then you end up relocating, you end up staying sometimes even. That has happened to me. I've gone someplace just to visit for a bit, and then the next thing I knew, I was like, oh, I'm going to stay here. You know, I've had that happen to me a couple of times in my life, and I've seen this happen for people that I've read for over the years when Six of Swords has come up for like some of my regular clients that I read for pretty frequently. I've seen it happen to them. The Six of Swords comes up, they go on a little bit of a trip, and all of a sudden they're relocating because everything just falls into place, everything just aligns, and so this could be happening for some of you. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those might resonate more than others. You may need a private reading. There's a link in the description of this video that will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading for me there, or with me, I should say, not for me, but with me there. Love readings for June are linked in the description, and don't forget, every single day I post a card of the day. A lot of people have been finding the daily messages helpful, so if you think it might benefit you to start your day off with a card and a message, please do so and check that out. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care and be well, my dears.